Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'd. Fa'awzu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Ameen ya rabbil alameen. Okay, let's take a quick recap of what we discussed last week so that we can carry on this week's lesson. Okay, quick recap. We were talking about various people's punishments, and the verse that we started was verse number 31, in which it was that Allah punishes and He blesses or sends His rahmat to whom He wishes. And no matter who you are, if you are going to be punished or if you are going to be blessed with Allah's mercy, you still have to turn towards Him. And then Allah mentions that no one, no matter who you are, the blessed or the cursed, no one can outrun Allah Ta'ala in the heavens and the earth. You are going to go back to Him. Nobody can help you against Allah when it's time. And then it was mentioned that those people who disbelieve, and then they disbelieve in the fact that they are going to meet Allah, they no longer, or they are despaired from Allah's rahmat, because when they don't believe in the akhirat, then they are deprived of Allah's rahmat, and for them there will be azab. And then Hazrat Ibrahim is mentioned again, that his nation, what was his nation's reply to when Hazrat Ibrahim ordered them to worship only one God. And they planned to burn him, and but then Allah saved him, as it's been mentioned so many times before. And this saving him from the fire was also a sign for people who believe, but then people do not want to believe, so they easily reject or overlook these signs. And then it is said that he said that don't make these idols, the idols that you make. Why you make them? Just for love between you, in other words, just for the community to stick together, just because you enjoy this activity together. And the things that you are enjoying today, at the day of Qiyamah, you will despise each other. In fact, you will be cursing each other. And then it is mentioned that Lut was the only one who believed in him. So Hazrat Ibrahim migrated. He migrated with Sarah, his wife, and Lut, because Lut was the only one who believed in him. Then it is mentioned that although he lost his father and his home place and his nation, but then Allah blessed him with Ishaq and Yaqub, and He blessed them with Nabuwat in his progeny. And then the story of Lut is mentioned, that his nation was involved in fahisha. What was the fahisha that they were involved in? It was homosexuality. And it is also mentioned that nobody had ever committed this type of act before in the alameen, in the universe, in the worlds. And it was also mentioned that they stop, they stop people in their way, and in their gatherings they commit sins. And then Allah promised to, destroy those who committed wrong. And then it is mentioned that the angels, when they came to Ibrahim for the glad tidings of a child, they also told them that they are going to destroy the nation of Lut. And then Ibrahim asked that, okay, in that nation is Lut, so what are you going to do? And they said, don't worry, everybody, the innocent are always saved, except for his wife will be left behind, because she had her loyalties and her sympathies with her nation. She couldn't see the wrong. That happens to you when you're living in a nation for such a long time. You're living in corruption for such a long time. Things don't affect you anymore. And then when it is mentioned that when the angels came to Lut, Lut was scared, but then the angels said, don't fear, because we have come to save you. Because remember, they were planning to kill him, they were planning to drive him out of that place just because he was stopping them. And then it is mentioned that ridges from the sky was sent, and it said that they were pelted with stones of fire, and then they were all ruined. And then Allah mentions in the last verse that these were signs for a qawm, for a nation that has aql. It's not just a tourist resort, it should be, there are signs in that place for people who use their intellect and see things other than what is apparent, no? Who can go to the depth of things. Okay, Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, verse number 36. وَإِلَى, and we sent to Madian أَخَاهُمْ, their brother Shu'aiba. فَقَالَ, so he said, Ya qawmi, O my people. Why are so many different prophets being mentioned and their struggles? Why? To console, to profit. If you have to leave a place or you have to, they're not listening, that this has happened since Adam's time. And Ya qawmi, O my people, u'budu, you all worship Allah. This, every single messenger that ever came, every single prophet that ever came, this was the one thing that they all preached, that worship only Allah. It means that every generation, they started with the worship of Allah, but then they, innovated in their religions, worshipping idols, trees, sun, moon, and the stars. Warju, and you all believe in or hope in or fear al-yawm al-akhiri, the day, the last. Arju, in other words, ruju, believe in the hereafter. Have hope or expect something, to expect something. Why is this being said? The only thing that can keep you right today is belief in the hereafter. It's not just, you can't just believe in Allah and say, okay, I'm done. You have to, the thought of the belief, of us believing in the akhirat, the last day, that it's going to come. This life is a short-lived life, and then there's a long, never-ending life that you're going to live. And then we are going to be assessed as to what we're going to do, what we have done in our life. That is the only thing that is going to keep you right. If you totally take this concept away, and you just believe in Allah, you will never have, the devotion or dedication to do good. Then you'd say, okay, it's fine, do it or not, it doesn't matter. And the reason why even today people, Muslim children, people who belong to Muslim families, they choose not to pray. Why? Because there is that belief that was inculcated in families that Allah will question you tomorrow, you have to do it because you will be questioned. It's gone. It's gone. So every single time that they must believe, they have to believe that this is a short-lived life, they have to go on. They have to go on. وَلَا تَأْثَوْا, and you all do not wreak havoc fil ard, in the land. In other words, don't abuse, don't commit violence in the land. Mufsideen, ones causing corruption. What was their corruption? Shu'aib's nation. Their corruption was in trade. Remember, it was mentioned that they used to weigh less and measure, they short the measuring when they would measure. So their corruption was in trade. I've mentioned this before. All of the corruptions that were ever present in all of the nations are present in our Ummah today. It's so sad. It's so sad. I mean, that's what happens when you are just reading the Quran's Arabic. Yes, there is a reward for just reading the Arabic also. But without reading, the people who are committing sins, when they don't know that it's mentioned in the Quran, that, okay, you're not supposed to commit this, you're not supposed to do this, adultery is forbidden, lying, backbiting is forbidden. When they don't know it's in the Quran, what happens? They carry on doing it. And religiously, every Ramadan or every morning, people will pick up the book and recite it. But what did they gain from it? Later, nothing. فَكَذَّبُوهُ. Have you seen how much trade corruption or fraud is in online shopping? I mean, first you would go back to the shopkeeper and argue with that person. But now, and I've got a weapon now. What I do, I say, I'm going to take you to the consumer courts. I'm going to report you in the consumer courts, and I'm also going to report you in the anti-cybercrime. Because if you have what you have showed me in the picture and what you are sending me is unacceptable. So because they said no, you're gonna have to keep it. You're gonna have to keep it. When I warn them of these two things, then they realize, we struck the wrong person. Okay, we'll replace it for you. Send it back. We could also send the money back.
फोन ही नहीं उठाते, नंबर ही अटेंड ऐसा नहीं, वो क्या उन्होंने सिस्टम किया होता है, वो नंबर ही नहीं अटेंड होता है.
Fraud भी आसान हो गया ना. Fraud has also become easy. And so many people are doing it. Okay, فَكَذَّبُوهُ, so they belied him, they did not listen to him. فَأَخَذَتْهُمْ, so it seized them, الرَّجْفَةُ, the earthquake. فَأَصْبَحُوا, so they became, فِي دَارِهِمْ, in their homes, جَاثِمِينَ, ones fallen face down, motionless, dead bodies. So an earthquake came. It is said that a loud blast also occurred, and then an earthquake came. Down on their faces means, you know when a first person falls down on his knees and then falls down face forward? It's that. You first fall on your knees. Jathia means person who's fallen on the knees and then gone down on their faces. So that was how they were left. Whereas it was these faces, these mouths that used to lie, and these hands that used to measure differently. So when the time came for punishment, could they save themselves? No. وَعَادًا, and we destroyed Ad, وَثَمُود, and Thamud, وَقَدْ, and indeed, تَبَيَّنَا, it became clear, لَكُمْ, to you all, min, from masakinihim, their dwellings. Why is this being said that we ruined Ad, Thamud, and it has become clear to you, their dwellings? Because Arabs, as I told you, it was a trade route to Syria. When the trade from Makkah to Syria, they would pass by the nation of Ad and Samud. They would see the carvings of the mountains. They would see huge buildings created, and they used to observe that the destroyed, the ruined thing. They used to observe it. وَزَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانِ, and he adorned for them a shaitan, the shaitan, أَعْمَالَهُمْ, their deeds. Now this is very terrifying. Sometimes it's not that we're committing very huge sins, right? But sometimes there are minor wrong things that we are doing, but shaitan has made them look beautiful within our own eyes. Even if you are, a practicing Muslim, even if you are a struggling Muslim, if you're struggling to practice Islam or struggling to practice your faith, there are small things that we commit, maybe not sins, but wrongdoings that Satan has made beautiful for us.
It feels so good after doing those things.
You enjoy it.
अच्छा feeling आती है.
Now, if we assess how many things at that time and even today, what has Satan made beautiful for people? Let me just finish this verse so that we can. وَصَدَّهُمْ, so he hindered them anis sabil, from the way. From which way? From the way of Allah. وَكَانُوا, while they were mustabsirin, ones endowed with perception. It's from basirat, istabsara. The having insight, being able to look beyond what is apparent. In other words, their intellect. Satan made their amal beautiful. Now bring this verse to today. Satan has made your amal beautiful. That stops you from the way of Allah. Even though you have a lot of insight, but where is that insight being used? Where is that intellect being used? When you're going, scrolling down, have you seen how much, people spend time on their facial routine? You will see scrolling down, and intelligent people, you think that
इतना time किसके पास?
I mean,
तो यही नहीं समझ आते कि इतना time.
But have you seen how much intellect they use? Remembering the names of what they're putting on and how they're supposed to do it, and it's like 20 minutes, reel what you're watching, and you'll see many people doing the same thing. For what? Something that you wash off early in the morning. Like I remember, it was my son's wedding, and my sister bought me some things to put on my face. And I said, you're going to have to number them. 1, 2, 3. Then I'll be able to do it, or I can't remember what it's supposed to be. It was just because it's the wedding, and so that you look plain. So she goes, really, you won't even know? I go, I don't do it, so you're going to have to one. And then literally she taped on 1, 2 and 3 so that I could manage it. Or for me it was so difficult. But you will see intellectual people going on and on and on about their facial routine, their night routine, their eyes, and how to put on a perfect eyeliner.
Oh my God. Kitna time.
Has anybody spent so much time trying to perfect their salah?
ये जो बसीरत है ना जिसकी हम बात करें, असल में बेसिकली हिदायत यही है to see beyond the the ordinary, beyond the face, beyond the
apparent, beyond the apparent, what is visible.
Normal reality से हम गुजर रहे हैं ना, जो हम इंस्टाग्राम पे पूछते हैं,
ऐसे ही है.
बेसिकली बसीरत होती यही है कि आप बियॉन्ड उसके देखें कि डू वी हैव सो मच टाइम ऑफ पुटिंग सो मेनी क्रीम्स ऑन आवर फेस. एंड मैं तो रात को मुंह पे हाथ रख के सोऊंगी तो मैं तो ऐसी मलमल के पता नहीं क्या करती रहूंगी.
Because if you see this Gen Z जो generation है, they are very intelligent, and their intelligence is used in the wrong way, in the wrong places. Yes. And they're spending so much time. And these things, Satan has made it beautiful for them. Now the World Cup, like, I mean,
सारे लोग पागल हुए हैं.
हाँ, I also watch a match. I also enjoy watching football. क्योंकि बचपन से वो inculcated थे. But I'm choosing which matches I'm going to watch. Okay, but then you will see influencers like dancing and parading on a song or something like this. And they're all focused. They're spending so much time. And the people who are doing it think it's so beautiful. It's so cool. What they are doing is so cool. I mean, these things spend so much time to look cool in the eyes of Allah. How many people have spent so much time perfecting the salah, perfecting the tilawat, understanding the Quran? Never. If we take it to studies, nobody has forbidden studies. But then the amount students fret upon their studies, they could fret and need just like a quarter of that, fretting, trying understanding the Quran. And Allah says, that person with la ilm al-kitab, the one that does not have the knowledge of the book, is la ilm. He's ignorant. Jahilun is from the jahil.
ये कितने अफसोस की बात है. मेरी अपनी औलाद मतलब कहती भी हूँ आपको नमाज पढ़ो. एक नमाज पढ़ ली, 2 पढ़ ली, फिर अंदर मैं पढ़ रही हूँ.
But everything else, every other thing that they're doing, Satan has made beautiful.
Yes. Mobile pe
and it's literally stopping those people from the way of Allah. And then these are those people who have aqal.
All of them have aqal. ऐसा तो नहीं कि उनमें अकल नहीं. अकल है.
Maybe as mothers, I think we should try to re-inculcate the concept of the hereafter.
Yes. This is what is missing.
This is what is missing. Yes. That we are going to be. Okay, accountability ko chhod ke, I mean, try and inculcate that. Like, don't you want to see Allah? Don't you want to meet Allah? Yes. Don't you want to, that is one thing that we've desired to do since we were babies. What does he look like? What is he? Yes. What type of being is he? So don't you want to see him? So like strive for that. But it's getting worse day by day. Yes. The appalling factor is that it's getting worse day by day. Then is mentioned وَقَارُونَ, and Qarun wa Fir'aun, and Fir'aun wa Haman, and Haman, وَلَقَدْ, and surely indeed جَاءَهُمْ Musa came to them بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ, with the clear proofs. We know which proofs he came with his staff and with his yad bayda and every other thing that he did during the time. فَاسْتَكْبَرُوا, but they displayed arrogance fil earth, in the earth. وَمَا, and not kanu, they were sabiqeen, ones who proceed or can outrun. In other words, they couldn't outrun Allah. When it came, their taqabbar, their being powerful in the earth, did not help them. They could not outrun when this azab came in the form of being drowned. Could they outrun? Could their horses or chariots or whatever they were, could they outrun the waves coming in? No. فَكُلًّا, so each, أَخَذْنَا, we took or seized, بِذَنْبِهِ, for his sins. Each and every one was grabbed for their sins. So us, can we sit, in safety and aman and peace and carry on with what we are doing? You know, Allah has two types of ways of grabbing. Sometimes you're grabbed on earth, and sometimes you're grabbed at the time of your death. So if we have that fear that we can also be grabbed on earth, the hereafter is even worse, but we can be grabbed on earth. So try and mend. We can't carry on doing this, okay, not major sins, even the small sins that we keep on committing. How can we just carry on with them and just thinking that, okay, we'll get over it one day? فَمِنْهُمْ, so among them, man who arsalna, we sent alayhi, upon him, hasiba, a storm of stones. These are different type of azabs that came to the nations. Storm of stones came upon Lut in the form of fire stones. وَمِنْهُمْ, and among them, man who akhazathu, it seized him, as-sayhatu, the loud shout. وَمِنْهُمْ, and amongst them, man who khasafna bihi, we caused to swallow him by al-earth, the earth. In other words, some were grabbed by a loud sound. The Samud and Ad, it is mentioned that a loud sound occurred and then destruction came. And then some were swallowed by earth. Qarun, remember we just mentioned him previously, that people were praising that what he had, but all of a sudden the earth, he was consumed into the earth. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ أَغْرَقْنَا, we caused to drown. Who was caused to drown? Pharaoh and the nation of Nuh alayhi salam. Remember, they were all drowned. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ, and Allah was not or would never be لِيَظْلِمَهُمْ, to wrong them. وَلَكِنْ, but كَانُوا, they used to, أَنفُسَهُمْ, their nafs, يَظْلِمُونَ, wrong themselves. In other words, they used to wrong themselves. It would never be that Allah would wrong them. If ma'am has been the longest, right? If you see in the Quran, Allah literally begs insan to come to the right path. You go, Allah's going on and on and on about, it's like literally begging mankind, come to the right path, come to the right path, come to the right path. One zulm that man is doing upon himself is not even acknowledging what Allah wants from us. That is the biggest flaw in this ummah today, that we don't even acknowledge what Allah wants from us. And then the second problem is that even when we know, we're not abiding by it. Some people do know, but they don't abide by it. So who has done the zulm? You, like if you criteria to get into a university, right? People will go through the prospectus multiple times and make sure that everything, all the documents are there and everything that they need is perfect. Knowledge leke, then they go. So why when it comes to Allah, why when it comes to the book, why when it comes to who you are? Like somebody the other day, there's this Spanish footballer, he's Muslim, Lamine Yamal. And all of a sudden the boys go to me, he's Muslim but he's not a good Muslim, right? I go like, look who's talking. Are you guys good Muslims? He's doing it openly, you may be doing it under covers. So like, it's easy to comment because he's not a hypocrite. He's doing it openly. But you guys, like if you're attracted to some girl and you're secretly talking to that person, then what are you doing? What's different between that 19-year-old and you 19-year-old? So like, we are choosy about who we blame wrong and who we blame right. So it's not Allah who does zulm, it's we ourselves. When Allah has given them, obey Allah, worship Allah. You choose, it's your choice to go and stand in front of a statued idol. Did Allah force you to do that? Did the people around you force you? Or like, did they have a gun to your head and say, go and do it? Allah gave intellect, basirat to everybody.
Yes. Basirat tumhari yahi hua. Allah कहता है मैं देता हूँ basirat.
So zulm, is Allah going to be doing zulm when he, 950 years of Nuh alayhi salam preaching, and after that the azab comes. The Prophet ﷺ, 13 years of opposition and persecution and humiliation and everything. After that the azab came on the Arabs in the form of the wars that they fought. So who were the people who have done zulm? And the biggest zulm that they do is not recognizing Allah. Zulmun azim kya hai? Shirk. Because it is Allah's due right to be worshipped. Why? Because He's the Rabb. When you're not doing that, that's the biggest zulm that you're doing anyway. And then you're doing zulm on your own nafs by depriving yourself from being on the right path. from obeying Allah, from worshipping Him. It was because remember, everybody vowed at the time when their souls were created that we believe in only one Allah, right? So when you go against it, you've done zulm upon your own self. Now this is the verse in which the surah gets its name. مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا, example of those اتَّخَذُوا, they have taken min dunillah, besides Allah, in other words other than Allah. Their example of people who have taken other than Allah, awliya, protectors, friends, wali, it's from wali, right? Kamathali, like example, Al Ankabut, of the spider. Attakhazat, it made baytan, a house. Wa inna, and indeed, awhana, weakest, al bayut, the houses, la baytu, surely is the house, al ankabut, of the spider. Lo, if kanu, ya'lamun, they knew, only if they knew. Now the example of those people who take other awliya, now to define awliya, wali, could be your protector, could be your guardian, your friends, mentors. It could be naturally then your idol, then your tree, anything that you're worshipping. Sometimes your power. You sometimes consider your helper and your protector, your wealth and your power that you have. You think you're untouchable, and sometimes your strength, sometimes your intellect. You consider yourself, just because you're intellect, you're untouchable. Those people who rely on things other than Allah as the wali, that can get you out of things, can protect you, can guide you, can guard you. Their example is like the spider, and the web, the spider web, that is the wali. The spider, that person is like a spider, and the web of the spider. Now, if we look at the spider web, and Allah says, wahan is extreme weakness, and awhan is the most extreme weakness. Now, have you seen how long it takes for a spider to build its web? And then, if you look at the webs are conformed in the most weirdest places. Have you ever picked up shoes after a long time? What do you find in it? Cobwebs. Under chairs, yes. Under the bed, under the roof. I mean, the most weirdest places you will find webs in your cupboards. If they can be found anywhere. And plus, what is a wali? What is a when you want protection in your home? The first thing you want is protection from the outside, external forces, means like air, rain, sun. Is the spider protected from sun when it's in the web? Is it protected from rain? Is it protected from slight external force? A slight external, do you know, even though the web, the house is very weak, the thread is very strong. Ma'am, is it true that the bulletproof vests are made from the spider webs?
No, it's not true.
It's not true? So I heard it from somebody, and I was like, how could they use that? So much. But if you see, have you ever tried to break up a spider web, and it's all attaches to you, and you're washing it off, and it can't come off, and you're sort of like stuck. But when it's in that form, within an instant, you can just get it off. So what protection did that do to that spider? So Allah is saying, those wali that you have created other than Allah, they are just like the Bayt Al Ankabut, the house of the spider. They can't protect you from any external pressure, can't benefit you. Because when external pressure comes, did the web benefit the spider? No. You'll see the spider then again hanging from one of his, constructed strings, and the web for him didn't save him, didn't give him any benefit against anything wrong. So, I said, have you seen how beautiful the examples that Allah gives in the Quran? Would we ever look towards a spider web like that? Considering that Allah has compared the two situations. And there's another verse in the Quran which is mentioned, that these people will not believe until a camel passes through the eye of the needle. These are the words of the Quran. that these people, the Makkans, will not believe at all until a camel passes through the eye of a needle. Meaning, impossible. Impossible. It's a beautiful misal in the Quran. And then about the non-believers and the rejectors, that they are like a dog. And you know, when he hangs out his tongue, Yalhath, when he's hanging out his tongue, that whether you say something to the dog or not, you know, try to warn it off or say nothing, he will still have his tongue hanging out. Likewise, if the people who do not believe, whether you warn them or not, they're always going to be the same. You know, the examples that Allah has given in the Quran are beautiful. So, even example of a fly and bawzatan, a mosquito, that even they can't even create a mosquito, not even the parasite on the mosquito. And imagine the parasite on top of the mosquito is mentioned in the Quran. When was malaria discovered? That there's a parasite on yes, so many years afterwards. Like, these are small miracles for people who have aql, that, oh my God, anybody could say, oh my God, nobody knew that it was, everybody thought it was the, you know, just the mosquito, but it's a parasite that he is holding in his stomach that creates, you know, malaria and so on. But are beautiful examples. So no one, no wali, no friend, no idol, no trees, no saints can help anybody besides Allah. Law kanu ya'lamun, only if they could understand, only if they had the ilm of it. Inna Allah, indeed Allah, ya'lamu, He knows, ma, what, yad'una, they call upon, min dunihi, besides Him, min shay'in, anything at all. Sometimes it's not, you know, sometimes things are very apparent. Idol worshippers, okay, we'll say Hindus. Okay, people who are going to saints, Muslims, you'll see common Muslims. But then we, each and every one of us, have our own idols. It could be something else. Because here Allah says, min dunihi min shay'in, anything. Now the anything, could you give me some examples of anything? Or anything that you think is, you know, is something that distracts you from? माल, wealth.
हम आपकी इज्जत की बड़ी हिफाजत करते हैं.
हाँ, yes.
Honor होता है, families के honors and etc.
Yes, we consider that very high.
Very high.
Yes, no doubt, no doubt.
Idol worship तो
जो हमारे ये bosses होते हैं.
Bosses, yes, why?
ये मसले अनकबूत से मुझे याद आया. Like, you've spent the whole time in the army, and my husband did too. When you retired, like the first 2-3 years, you don't realize it. But when like 10 years have passed, like now Islam, 10 years have passed, then you realize what was worth it.
Seriously, ऐसा feel होता है तो
I mean, what? It was not even worth the time and effort and the mental stress that you go through. Remember when COVID was here, ma'am? I remember, ma'am was so busy because COVID and the Chinese coming over, and ma'am had to deal with everything. And then when you retire, you think it was nothing. What did we? And then just one thing that we should try and make sure is that once we are over with our life, when we retire from this life, then we shouldn't go back and say what was worth it.
No, it's not worth it.
And again, we should, at that time, we should be able to, you know, think that, okay, all the ibadat that we did is okay. Don't go with what was this life worth if we didn't.
जब कर रहा था तो इबादत भी हम उस तरह तो नहीं करते. जैसे अब हम बिल्कुल फ्री हो तो शायद डिफरेंट होता है.
ऐसा ही होता है.
और हम अपनी
और काम में मसरूफ हो जाते हैं.
और काम करते हैं. दुनियावी काम तो खत्म ही नहीं होता.
Mobile. It is the most biggest dunillah, you know, other than Allah, that disturbs me. And people say like, you don't answer the phone. I go, the reason why I don't answer the phone is always on silent. I don't want a notification. I don't want a call. I'll see. It's very addictive. It's very addictive.
If I start doing it, then I cannot stop.
And then you will see that you'll be just scrolling for no reason.
No reason.
And no benefit at all.
और उससे तबीयत भी मेरी खराब हो जाती है, मेरी आंखों में दर्द होता है,
But do you realize that how you realize once you've gone through it all?
Yes.
Why can't you realize right in the beginning and then put it to the side?
ये addictive है.
Addictive है, ऐसे
ये
ही,
addictive है.
ऐसे ही है. No matter how much you try, every single day it's a strong. I think that would be my struggle. That would be my. And I think when you're on leave, when you're not working, we tend to turn to it more. But when you're working, you don't have enough time to look at your phone because you're so knackered. When you come back, all you want to do is just like take it easy. Okay, so Allah Ta'ala knows. Even if we have not mentioned something that is, the min dunillahi min shay'in, anything, even if we haven't mentioned, and remember, inna Allah ya'lamu, He knows. He knows each and everything. If there's something else inside me that is stopping me from going on the right path, or is stopping me from perfecting my salah, or stopping me from perfecting my character.
मुझे ऐसे ही लगता है कि ये जो दुनिया है, अल्लाह के अलावा जो चीज़ें हमने खुद पैदा की हैं, अल्लाह की तरफ से नहीं, हम खुद स्टॉप करते हैं अपने आप को अच्छाई की तरफ जाने से.
हाँ, we do.
कल्चर भी हमारा बहुत बड़ा जो है वो दुनिया है, अल्लाह के अलावा. कल्चर हमें वो कि अगर हम दुपट्टा लेंगे या लोग भी दुपट्टा लेंगे या अबाया लेंगे तो लोग हमें stupid समझेंगे या हमें.
Yeah, and that's such a sad thing that they do consider you stupid. They do, huh?
तो जी दुपट्टा ले लिया, 900 चूहे खा के बिल्ली हज को जा रही है. ये क्या बात है?
I don't know why so many people are so interested in other people's lives.
Everyone is interested in other people's lives.
I know, that's why I say, when people ask me, I go if I don't ask you why you are wearing your shirt and dupatta, why do you ask me why I am wearing mine? I mean, give me that freedom.
ये तो 900 चूहे खा के बिल्ली हज को चली गई
तो शुक्र चल तो गई ना.
वो हमने बिल्ली ने 100 चूहे खा में भी आप भी खा ले चूहे, क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
It's sad.
It is sad.
It's sad, and especially when somebody is struggling to go to, trying to tread the path of Allah, and then when people discourage you, always remember that no matter how much they say, it can never be as much as what was done to the Prophet.
Yes.
I mean, that was extreme. I mean, nobody's coming and throwing entrails, disgusting things on top of you while you're praying. I mean, they'll say something that you can easily overlook. And then if it does become difficult, sometimes some situations become so difficult that no matter what you do, it's not working. Then pray to Allah, that Allah, you have put me in this situation. You are the only one who can take me out. I want you to take me out of this position. I want you to heal me. Some words, there used to be their phrase, the sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. I said it's wrong. It's wrong. Sticks and stones hurt you once, and then you'll feel it, and then you'll forget it. But words go on forever. I mean, they're so traumatic.
They're traumatic.
So, the only one who can take you out is Allah. Turn to Him and beg Him. He is the only one. Build that. He should be your wali, the one that you're taking protection from, the one that you want guidance from. I remember when I newly started studying, I used to always pray desperately to Allah. Allah, I want that guidance that you wished for mankind. Because people say, oh, which one are you studying? This tafsir, oh, there's so many views and this and that. I used to get so confused. And I used to pray in the prayer, Allah, give me that guidance, that hidayah that you willed for your insan. Because I hadn't got through the Quran by then. But then I kept on saying this, that what you wanted for your mankind, give me that guidance. So, He is the only one that you can turn to. The actual wali is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wahuwa, and He, Al-Aziz, the ever almighty, Al-Hakim, the ever wise. He is the almighty, wise almighty we mentioned here, because the Surah Al Ankabut and every other thing that you consider other than Allah that could protect you or help you or whatever, Allah is greater than that. Allah is more greater than that. Almighty and Hakim and ever wise. Wisdom, anything, if you are going through something, it's based on wisdom. Either Allah wants to purify you, to perfect you, to mature you, to bring you closer to Him, we don't know. But there's always wisdom behind whatever is going on in your life. وَتِلْكَ الْأَمْثَالِ, and those examples, نَدْرِبُهَا, we strike, present it, or present them, لِلنَّاسِ, for the people. These different examples of the prophets, examples of the house Bayt Al Ankabut. Why are they given for people? Wama, and none. يَعْقِلُهَا, he understands them. إِلَّا, except alimun, those who are knowledgeable. In other words, why those who are knowledgeable? Those who want ilm, who crave for ilm. You will see many people, I mean, even when they are gaining ilm of the world also, you will see some people are mediocre students, mediocre university graduates. It's not like they are desperate for ilm. But then amongst those students, you will see those who are desperate. And they will gain so much extra knowledge from, from different places that once they graduate out, they're a different person. They have excelled. So those people who understand by these verses are those people who
are knowledgeable.
who understand.
Curiosity, जो है ना, वो अल्लाह की तरफ से है.
Yeah.
Learn more and more.
Yes,
I think curiosity के बगैर आप knowledgeable
नहीं कर सकते.
नहीं हो सकते. हाँ.
ऐसे ही है.
There has to be some curiosity.
Why? This thing of why. This was always in me as a kid. Because I've never got to understand maths. I'm really bad at maths. My brother also tried his level best to try and teach me maths. And when every time algebra would come and they would say a plus a or a plus minus a, God knows what, is equal to, and it's a formula. And I used to ask my brother, no, but why? And he goes, there's no but why, it's just a formula. I go, no, but why? And he goes, like wreck his, try and understand, there's no why. I go, no, I can't take that. No, that's why maths, I could never understand it, because I always wanted a reason behind something. And when they say, no, it's just a formula, just have to do it like this, woman. And I'm saying, but I need to know that why is this like this? Why is the pi, the value of pi this? Give me a solid reason. I mean, and at that time, naturally, the pi value of this, although there's after so many calculations, they have come up with that. But naturally, 9th and 10th grade, my brother wouldn't have known how they came up with the pi value. But now, mashallah, he's an engineer. He most probably knows by now. But, the why thing is the thing that has always kept me going. Because I wanted to know.
Abdul Salam went to Hira, just wanted to know. This why is very, very
important. It should never be snubbed.
Yeah, you should. We snub our students.
That is wrong. That is wrong. They should be allowed to ask any question.
हम snub करते हैं. ऐसे ही है बस करो.
अच्छा, I allow my even school students. I allow them to ask me any question. I'll go, even if I can't answer it, I'll try to get the answer. Because sometimes they ask questions that I can't answer. And I've always told them, like, if I can't answer, I won't give you, a bad answer. I will say, give me time, I'll ask somebody else. Maybe they know better. But this why, this inquisitive nature, this is the thing that makes you understand and makes you want to understand, in fact.
Ibrahim was standing at night and looking at the stars. He was trying to find out why. Why are people,
And the why can only come from Allah. And I hope you get to go through the Quran many times. And every time you go through the Quran, you will realize that the why that the answer of the why that you received the first time you read the surah, it's always different the next time that you read the Parah. That is the living miracle of the Quran. You understand differently every single time. Okay. خلق الله السماوات والأرض. Allah created the skies and the earth بالحق, in truth. In other words, your Ankabut, what does he create? This, the spider web that is so weak and can break, and it's just an illusion that it can, it is a house. Whereas Allah, the wali, Allah is the wali. What has he created? The heavens and the moon. Can the heaven and the moon and the samawat break? Can we say, oh God, today the sun has fallen down? Can somebody go and pick it and put it back up? No. Can we see that the wind has blown away, America has shifted to Europe? No. Can that happen? No. Because Allah has created the heavens and the earth strong. He has created this. I mean, this is who Allah is. And in a truth position. Everything other is false. Inna fi zalika, indeed in this creation of the heavens and the earth, la ayatan, surely is a sign, lil mu'mineen, for the believers who look at it with that vision, who look at it with that, you have to have the eye to see that, basically. Okay, the 21st para starts. Do you have it? Please pick up your 21st para there from there. इसमें है थोड़ा सा, तो वो भी उठा लें, नहीं तो आप भूल जाएंगे. उस पे भी है, इसमें उन्होंने last verse दिया हुआ है. But this part, from this verse, the 21st para starts. Clear? So I don't want to be, ठीक है? Okay, utlu, you recite ma uhiya ilayka, what has been inspired or revealed ilayka to you min al-kitabi, from the book. Now the Prophet ﷺ is being told individually, but then the Prophet is told, he is ordered, and then this order applies to all of An-Nas, mankind. Now why is this being mentioned here? Remember, we have talked about all the turmoil that the Prophet has gone through, all the turmoils that different prophets went through, and the outcome of the people who were objecting to it. So when you are facing these type of position, circumstances, and your wali, now we say that Allah is the wali, stick to him. Now, in order for that to happen, to stick to your wali who is Allah and not go anywhere, what will you have to do? Utlu ma uhiya ilayka. Recite ma what uhiya, it has been revealed ilayka to you min al-kitab, from the book. Which book? The Quran. Now it is tulu. Tulu is from tilawat, right? Utlu is from tilawat. Tilawat is a beautiful word. It could have been iqra, read the Quran. No. Tilawat means, one is that you are lafziya, in other words, you will recite it. And then it is ilmiya, that you get the ilm, the understanding of it. And then it is amaliya, then you have to act upon it. This word, utlu, tilawat, these three things are in this word itself. Talu, ta, lam, waw is the root word. Tilawat is from the same word. Utlu, another order to recite. And why recite has been? Because recite, not just recite, you will be reciting Arabic. You'll be trying to understand the Arabic. What happens is, why our ummah, well, us Muslims, have gone wrong is because the utlu, the first part, recitation, is being done perfectly. Up to new generation, Gen Z, to wo bhi nahi kar rahi. I think we were the last generation that are going to be reciting. To hud se padhe, hud se shok bhi hai. The rest, I don't see kids nowadays doing that. So yes, we were good at recitation. The two things we had overlooked completely. Generations to generations. Ma'am, aap honestly pata hai. Aapka apne extended family mein, think, how many people understand the Quran? Recitation, though, you must probably be able to tell, yeah, many do it. How many understand the Quran? And how many then, after understanding it, implement it in their life? If we just go to our extended family and forget about the community and then the whole nation, आप देख लो, how many?
नहीं, हमारी जनरेशन में
सेलेक्टिव है ना लोग.
जिस तरह मेरे से जो बड़ी बहनें हुए ना, या उस एज ग्रुप में भी, उनमें भी कुछ ही तो जो कि समझने की साथ यानी समझने की उसमें भी लगे रहते हैं और एक्ट की करने की कोशिश, मतलब अपनी फर्ज इबादत और चलो मुआशरे में भी उस हिसाब से थोड़ा एक्शन, यानी वो भी मैं अपनी अगर पूरी एक्सटेंडेड बिल्कुल बहनों में देखूँ तो बहनें मेरी इस तरह की हैं. लेकिन जो अगर मैं वैसे आगे पीछे और देखूँ, कजन्स और ये और सब ददियाल में
तो नहीं टू लाइक मिनिमम, बेयर मिनिमम.
मेरा भाई ऑस्ट्रेलिया में होता है, बिल्कुल ही जो है ना, उसको मेरे अबू कहते थे क्रिश्चियन, मतलब वो बिल्कुल ही मॉडर्न है. उसके बच्चों ने भी इंग्लिश में कुरान पढ़ा है, अरबी में कुरान ट्रांसलेटरेशन. उसने अभी तक उम्रा नहीं किया. ही हैज बीन अराउंड इन द वर्ल्ड. मैं पेरिस जा रहा हूँ, मैंने मोनालिसा देखी है, मैं तस्मानिया चला गया.
Do you know that situation?
एक दफा वो उम्रा नहीं कर सकता.
That situation is abundant in the Muslim families living abroad. It is so sad that they've lost,